time for Mac Geek Gab, and I'll bring us our quick tip of the week because I noticed that Google announced that you can now change your Gmail / Google username. Of course, you have to be able to change it to something that's available, so you can't change it to something someone else has. But if you've been having, like, Skater Rat Forever as your Gmail name and you want to change it to, say, something boring like, Dave@gmail.com, you are allowed to do that as long as no one else has Dave@gmail.com, which it turns out somebody does. But I bet you can find something. We will link to how you do this, and your old email address becomes an alias to you, so you won't lose the emails that are being sent to you. More quick tips like this, plus your questions answered today on Mac Geek Gab 1136 for Monday, April 6th, New Beer's Eve 2026.
Welcome back.
Oh, wrong? Oh, see, that's the
Welcome
wrong.
back, everybody.
It is. Welcome back to Mac Geek Gab, and cheers on New Beer's Eve. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Mac Geek Gab, the show where we share quick tips like that. We share cool stuff found. We share questions. We try to answer the questions. We put it all together in a way that hopefully allows each of us to learn at least 5 new things every single time we get together. Our giveaway this month at macgeekgab.com/giveaway is for 3 one-year Plex passes. So you can sign up for that at macgeekgab.com/giveaway. And our sponsor at gusto.com/MGG. You go there to get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. For now, here in the month, and happy 50th birthday, Apple. I'm Dave Hamilton here in Durham, New Hampshire.
And here in South Dakota, I'm Adam Christensen.
And here, also in New Hampshire, where it's cold out there this morning, it's Pilot Pete. Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Want to cover all the goods.
That's right. We had a little bit of snow here on Thursday, April 2nd here in New Hampshire this morning. So, yeah.
There was ice all over my patio furniture this morning when I went out to pull it in out of the rain. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Good. So
we're supposed to get a little bit. It hasn't really showed up yet. There was a little bit of, I think they call it grapple. That was a new thing for me. Kind of. Do you guys know about grapple?
I don't know about grapple. What's grapple?
I know what grappa is, but
so it's okay. So
New Beer's Eve.
It's not quite snow, but it's not quite hail. It's like little tiny balls of ice, but it's like white, not clear.
That's what we had this morning.
Yeah.
Grapple.
I guess they call it grapple here. I don't know.
Grapple. Grapple.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Grappling with the weather. I like it. Okay.
There you go.
I don't know if that's purely a Midwest thing. There's a lot of like purely Midwest terms that I've learned since moving here. So.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, makes sense. Huh. Interesting. Fun. Grapple.
Nice.
Grapple and ranch dressing. Those are the staples.
On everything.
Staples of Midwest living, as I've learned. Yeah.
And that's our first learn new thing.
Well,
second, actually, because of your quick tip. But
yeah, back to our first learn new thing in macgeekgab.com/Discord in the live stream. Kiwi Graham, who lives down in Australia, I believe, notes that this Gmail address change is U.S. only for the moment. So thank you for sharing that too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
So just so everybody is aware, if you don't see it, we've got a link in the show notes as always. But it does note that it is U.S. only. So.
Oh, interesting. I got to go look at that. So I was looking at it. I thought when I first read about the quick tip and looked in, I said, well, you can change the username that shows up, but that's not the same thing. So, yeah.
Yep. Good for them.
Well, should we move on to another quick tip?
I love it.
All right. I will make it so at this time because Todd wrote in and there's a secret twofer in here. This is the cool thing. But he writes in, he says, I use Apple Notes extensively. 22 folders, lots of tags, lots of notes. I had emailed in last year with a link to a web page explaining how to dig into the library folder to back up Apple Notes files. I did not create those instructions, he says, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about Bear, so I looked into how one would migrate Apple Notes to Bear. They have a support page for that, and we'll put that link in the show notes. Turns out in Mac OS 26 and iOS 26 does as well, with some limitations, Apple added the ability to select multiple notes and export them as Markdown files. It also exports images in the notes, yet another way to not get caught. Cheers, Todd. And the twofer in that is kind of a cool stuff found. Bear Markdown notes. Bear is in the animal, B-E-A-R.
Yeah.
Love that app.
Yep.
It was great. I used it for a long time and then finally standardized on Ulysses, but Bear was great.
Cool. And I want to give a shout out to, Allison Sheridan, of course, is always involved in these kinds of shenanigans, but Edward Tobias, who has put together a way that we might be able to use Obsidian as our Mac Geek Gab sort of workflow. And it all came in while I was at South by Southwest, and so I have not dug into it yet, but I will, because I'm eager to see if there's something better than Apple Notes out there. So thank you, Ed. Much appreciated.
Cool.
While we're on the subject of Notes apps. Yeah. All right. Shall we move on to the next quick tip here?
Yeah, I think this is a little bit of a follow-up to we were talking about my scratched iPhone screen, and then I mentioned I probably should be doing screen protectors, and then I think we got to a conversation about installing them. So we got a little quick tip and follow-up from Clif. Feedback on the comment about glass screen protectors. I agree with you, Dave. I always use one. However, I do not use the cheap ones that do not come with do not use the cheap ones that do not come with a positioning frame. My favorite is I never know how to pronounce this, Spigen or Spigen. I think Spigen is the right way, but my favorite is Spigen, and the copycats, which have the glass pre-mounted in a frame, which forces alignment and attachment from the center out. The perfect install every time is worth the extra money. But one other quick tip about the dust, because we mentioned getting dust under there is that's how you get dust and hair or whatever. He says, install watch or iPhone screen protectors in a steamy bathroom after a shower. The reason is the humidity captures and eliminates the dust issue. Brilliant.
Huh.
So, that's from Clif.
That makes
so
perfect
smart.
sense.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I think moisture also helps with the alignment, right? A little bit of. I always see people when they apply those things. There were some of them that even you use like a little bit of soapy water or something like that, and then you can kind of still move them, and then you kind of squeegee out the water from underneath.
That's right. Yeah.
I've seen that
Kiwi Graham.
technique. I don't know.
Kiwi Graham was asking about moisture on the screen. No, I stepped on you. You don't have to apologize to me. But yeah, it will squeegee out pretty quickly because I've done that with where I've had some moisture left on the screen from exactly what you're talking about with the spray, and you can just squeegee it out. It's not really an issue. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and in order to be pedantic, AI says it's pronounced Spigen.
All right,
Spigen. As in speed and began. Spigen. Spigen.
Sounds good.
All right. I had nothing else to do when you guys were chatting.
No, that's what we do here. Yeah.
Is that German? Is that German? I would assume. I was assuming it was German.
Yeah. Sure sounds German. Yeah.
Which is, I have to throw it in here since you said that. My friend from Germany always said Häagen-Dazs. I'm like, I thought it was Häagen-Dazs. She goes, no, it's Häagen-Dazs.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Two ways.
Yeah.
Häagen.
Sure. Chris has our next quick tip, which is it's two ways of connecting more reliably to network shares on startup. And Chris shares a video to Morganot's Apple script. Morganaut is a woman that does YouTube videos, like how-to tech tip videos, and she talks very, very quickly talks faster than me, which I love. And she gets right to the point, which I will. So there's two methods in this video that we've linked in the show notes. Number one is that once you've manually mounted your shares and you have them there on your, mounted and ready to go on your Mac, you open System Settings, you get to Login Items, which it's easier just to search for it instead of trying to dig for where it is. And then go to the Open at Login window or pane, I should say there. And you can drag your shares into that Open at Login window, and then it will open those shares at Login. When you are mounting your shares to get to this point, make sure you check that box that says store my password in my keychain. Otherwise, it's going to be asking you for your password every single time that your Mac starts up, which you may want, but choose that box wisely. And then method number two, and this is where the link to Morganaut's YouTube video will come in very handy, is she's created an Apple script, or you can create your own after watching the video. It's like a 4-line or 5-line, I guess, Apple script. And then you, in that script, if you take hers, you just edit in the address of your shares that you want to add, and then you can save it as an Apple script application, and you can put that into Login Items, and it starts up. I will add to this, and this is a great tip, and it is I've always done method number two. Well, I don't know about always, but that method number two is the reliable one for me. I use an Apple script. But I also leverage Keyboard Maestro, and Keyboard Maestro watches to see if a volume has gone offline, and if it has, then it runs that same Apple script to bring it back online so that it persists. And this came up in our Discord because someone, I forget who, and maybe it was Chris. Actually, it was Chris Powers in our Discord who answered his own question eventually. He was having trouble with getting Auto Mounter to be an Auto Mounter app, which is not great, and stumbled onto these solutions too. But if you use Keyboard Maestro, then that will complete the circle and things will just stay mounted for the most part. So there you go. That's what I have this time. Where are we here? All right, 12 minutes. Good. We're cranking through these guys.
Yeah. Truly quick tips.
Any thoughts on that, Adam? Do you have your own way of mounting startup shares or network shares on startup?
I mean, either of those tips. I've typically recommended to most people just the Login Items one because I think it's simple for people to set up.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're not messing with Apple scripts. Because I think with the Apple script also, you got to go find your volume path.
Yep.
Which I'm sure the video probably tells you exactly how to do. It's not hard, but again, for the average person, it's like, hey, just mount the share like you normally would in the Finder and drag it in here. So.
Yep. No, you are 100% right that the video walks you through finding or capturing that network share. Yep. Which is easy enough to do. You go to the Get Info window in the Finder once you've mounted the share and just literally copy it from there. That's the tip. But it's there in the video and it's great. Yeah. All right. Should we jump to some questions?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you've all been listening to us speak for 12 minutes, 13 minutes. So let's listen to Greg speak and see what his question is. I think. So I say.
I got a geek challenge for you. I wear a glucose sensor, and so every 10 days I have to put a new sensor on my arm that an app on my iPhone can get a reading every 5 minutes of my blood glucose levels. Well, this is all fine and good, but now I've been using this for a couple of years. So in my Bluetooth listings on my settings on my iPhone, I've got this incredibly long list of items that are sensors I've taken off and thrown away and are never going to use again. Is there a way with shortcuts or something that I could automatically, maybe once a week or so, have, the oldest dozen of these taken off? They all follow a similar format. I think they all start with M and are about 5 or 6 letters and numbers. But I was just wondering if there was some way I could automate this just to reduce the clutter in my Bluetooth listings on my iPhone. This is Greg in North Carolina. Thanks a bunch, guys. Really love the show.
Well, before I share my answer, Adam or Pete, do you have an answer for Greg? It is a geek challenge. Yeah.
Get a new phone. No, it'll probably transfer over from his backups, so that won't work.
It won't, but
No.
yeah,
Okay.
no, it won't. Adam, do you have any thoughts?
No.
No. Yeah.
I don't even know. I mean, I have to go do research.
Sure.
I haven't done it. So if I would think his thoughts are correct, like, could you write a shortcut? I don't know if there's a shortcut action to add. I think that probably is for adding Bluetooth devices or removing Bluetooth. I don't know. That's where I would look.
Yeah, there's not, at least in current versions or past versions of iOS, there's no like go into edit mode and bulk select and remove. So there's the manual way.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's the manual way where you tap each eye and like forget and yada yada yada, go through it. The other way, though, and this comes with a huge caveat, which we will explain, but the other way is if you go to Settings, General, Transfer or Reset iPhone, Reset, and then finally get to the Reset Network Settings option. That will wipe out all of your Bluetooth pairings and your saved Wi-Fi networks.
Yeah.
So you get this at the cost of losing your Wi-Fi networks. Now, there is a way to preserve your Wi-Fi networks. The trick is if you have iCloud Keychain turned on, your Wi-Fi networks are synced amongst all of your devices. The problem if you do this reset network settings, at least in my experience, is if you have iCloud Keychain syncing enabled and you reset network settings, that change gets pushed up to iCloud, meaning all of your devices lose access or lose their memory of Wi-Fi networks. If you turn off iCloud Keychain and then do this reset network settings and then turn iCloud Keychain back on, it will sync those back down to your Mac, in my experience. Now, I'm sure there's a way to do it where you wind up wiping out everything in iCloud Keychain again still, because syncing is hard and inconsistent, but that would be my way of doing it. But then you're going to lose all your Bluetooth devices, not just the ones you want to lose. So that might also be a problem.
Yeah.
That's what I got on this. And I don't think there's third parties can't manipulate your Bluetooth, can't remove things from your Bluetooth device list. I don't think.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Could there be an app that does this?
That's what I was just checking. So I had an app for a little while that I got from SetApp called Tooth Fairy. That's a third-party app for like managing. It puts a little thing in your menu bar for like connecting and disconnecting devices and stuff like that. And I noticed it has that sort of interface in the screenshots.
Yeah.
Where you have a list on the left that shows your Bluetooth devices with the plus and minus for adding and removing. And so in theory, at least I would think if all your devices were in there, you could go in and do the multiple select, which you can't do with, I don't think, Apple's interface.
Right,
Like,
but I think you're
interface.
right. On the Mac, you might be able to do this. This is on his iPhone because
that's right.
those things are paired to his phone. And Bluetooth devices don't sync amongst your Apple devices. That's not
Fair.
That's a small white lie, but some of them do.
And even in the Tooth Fairy situation, I just installed it real quick, and it wants me to find and add my devices to Tooth Fairy.
Oh.
So I don't even know if that's a manual process. So that might
right.
not even work either. So,
Huh.
Yeah, it may just be worth spending 10 minutes and I forget.
Yep. And I mean, if you do it, the first wave of this is going to suck, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it all at the same time. You can go do, 5 or 6 of them while you're, I don't know, waiting on the bus. And then, another 5 or 6 while you're watching your partner's favorite TV show that you're kind of suffering through, right? Instead of, this is a way healthier activity than doom scrolling.
There you go.
There it is. It's healthier than doom scrolling.
You could do them all at once if you're flying anyway, waiting in security line. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying. Oh, man. All right.
But yeah, I mean, like that. But then once you're caught up to it, then it's not so bad, right? Because you're just flushing them out. I have a bonus quick tip here that I learned accidentally, but I really like it. I like to go. I have a membership at this place that lets me go in the flotation tank once a month or whatever, and I love that. They also have a dry sauna there, which I love equally as much, perhaps sometimes even more, especially during the cold winter months. It's really nice to go into the hot sauna. And they have the sauna has Bluetooth speakers in it, so you don't have to bring your phone in and melt your devices. The problem is, if one of the staff members is paired up to the sauna's Bluetooth and doesn't leave the premises or doesn't turn off their or doesn't disconnect from the device, I can't join the Bluetooth, and then I have to sit in the sauna in silence for 45 minutes or whatever it is. And so I have learned that if you go in to the Bluetooth settings on your iPhone, you find a device, you hit that little I or whatever that we're talking about here. If you rename the device there, it doesn't just rename it for you. The device's name is stored on the device. And so I have found that if I make a minor change, not anything that's going to confuse people, but if I make a minor change to the Bluetooth name of the device every time I'm there, it keeps people's phones from the local people's phones from being connected all the time if they forget, or from auto reconnecting. So, but it does change. The first time I did it, I was like, I'm just going to change this for me because it was named something that was sort of confusing. And I'm like, I don't know which one to pick. I think they have two locations and I think they bought the same sauna in both. So it was just the same, thing. I'm like, I don't know which one. So I'm just going to name it with the name of the city that it's in. And that way I know. And then when I had to forget it and come back to it, it was like, oh, I think I changed it for everybody. And then when I started having this problem, I'm like, wait, I can leverage this knowledge. But it's for good. Like, I'm not hurting anyone by doing this. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hate to do this, but I think I have to too, because I just thought of this, and it's going to be me putting my dad hat on and also giving advice that I wouldn't follow myself, which I'm very good at also. So presumably this might just be a, hey, I need to get into a habit of something solution.
Okay.
Which is, you have to add one of these every 10 days or whatever it is, right? So maybe when you're adding it, just remove the old one.
Oh, yeah. That's a good tip. Yeah,
it's not great.
No, it's not. None of us are going to do this.
You're asking people to change their behavior, and it's probably like, it probably pops up automatically, and you just, but like, that would be something I would say to my kids is like, well, you just get in the habit. And again, I'm 100% the person who would not follow my own advice.
For sure.
I'm being clear about this here.
Do as I say.
Right.
Not as I do.
But exactly. That might be the ultimate solution, is if you could just get in the habit of when you add one, remove the old one, and then you never have a long list. But that involves changing behavior, which, as we know, is not always the easiest thing.
No,
Crazy
that's
talk,
the hardest thing to change. It's way easier to do all the other technical things. Yeah.
And just gripe about it later.
That's right. You got it. Yeah. All right. Moving on to Randy Walker.
Yeah. So Randy writes in, he says, I'll charge up my iPad and then not use it for a few days, and it will be dead as a doornail. Not just a little dead as a doornail. How long should an iPad Pro 11-inch M2 be able to hold a charge?
So with a healthy battery, I would think it could hold the charge for, a week or more.
Yeah.
And Randy asked this in our Discord and shared he went into settings battery and shared a couple of graphs of battery usage. And man, like these show, no usage over a course of many days, and then like 1%, 4%, these kinds of things. So there's not a ton of things being used. In fact, there were 3 items that appeared in that graph: home and lock screen, mail, and signal. And they show that their usage was 5%, 2%, and 1%. And then the on-screen time was 1 minute, 3 minutes, 1 minute. So I asked him to install and run Coconut Battery, one of my favorite utilities on the Mac.
About that, yeah.
Yep. And Coconut Battery is great. It can tell you about your Mac's battery for sure. It can also, when you connect via USB, pull and tell you about your devices, your iPhone and iPad batteries. And he said that Coconut Battery reported that his battery was, at 95% of its maximum capacity, which is great. So it's not that his battery, at least it's not self-reporting any issues. And batteries are usually pretty good at self-reporting issues. The only other thing, and certainly his battery graphs do not support what I'm about to share here, but it is worth checking. We try to generalize advice when we can. It's possible, because I've had this happen, that he might have set his iPad not to sleep the screen when the lid is closed. When they can sense the magnetic, a magnetic case lid, and turn the screen on and off when you close it. And I do that with my ones that are on stage. But I have been in scenarios where there's a magnet on stage too close to the thing, and so I just go, in the moment, in the heat of the moment, you're like, okay, well, just there's that setting somewhere deep in settings. You can tell it not to do that. Great, I found it. Great, show can go on. And then, I forget and can't figure out for months why my iPad can't hold the charge, and it's because I'm putting it away in my bag and the screen is still on. So that would be another thing to check. But otherwise, I don't know, unless it's doing a backup in the background, like syncing all your photos or something when you're on your home Wi-Fi network. But that wouldn't kill it. It would go into.
Well, and that graph would probably show it, I would think. And now it says, view more, but that is also a descending order, I think, of battery usage when it does it. So Matthew offers the suggestion. He says he puts his iPad in airplane mode when it's not using it, which I think is, that may help. Doesn't tell you why it's doing it, but may help it from doing it.
For sure. Yeah.
So definite maybe.
Adam.
So.
Yeah. No, I was just going to comment. I don't know that the applications list includes like daemons and things that are running in the background doing iCloud syncs.
It doesn't.
And photo syncs and those things would be using the device, presumably, depending upon what you're doing, quite a bit.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's one thing it's one thing if you're willing to test it, because there is that setting, right, that says allow network stuff to go on when it's asleep or in the background or whatever. Because you can turn that off, right, or put it in low power mode or something. Like
low power mode is what? Yeah,
but that wouldn't. I mean, low power mode wouldn't be a great test. I thought there was a setting where you could just disable the don't let stuff run in the background basically when it's asleep. But maybe I'm misremembering that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that I know that there's a setting like that on the Mac. I don't think there's a setting like that on iPad. I don't have an iPad within arm's reach.
Yeah, I don't either.
To grab and check.
I would look.
Yeah.
But I mean, that feels like if anything's doing it, it would have to be that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you could put it in low power mode and see if that changes anything. At the very least, in that scenario, that might indicate a battery health issue. Like if you put it in low power mode and it continues to be the same, then it might be, okay, the battery's discharging all on its own for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it sounds like that might be what's going on here. But again, it doesn't seem, I don't know. It's hard to say. But hopefully some of that stuff will at least help narrow things down. So Yep. All right. Shall we move on to Larry?
Yeah, Larry has a great question. He says, "Hi, I'm in my 40 plus years of using Macs. There are none that I have enjoyed as much as my current 2019 27-inch 5K iMac. But alas, like all of us, it is getting old. There are some features of Tahoe, which I am running on my MacBook Pro, that I like, and also the system is feeling slower and slower, although I keep convincing myself that it is just a desire to get the next new shiny ball. But I am starting to look at getting a Mac Mini, although I might just wait a little if there's an M5 Mini waiting in the wings. But that also means getting a monitor. Clearly, I want a 27-inch 5K monitor. Why would I go backwards? But which one? I am not willing to spend the money on the Apple monitor. LG appears to have discontinued theirs, but there are now several on the market. As far as I can find, Asus, BenQ, Samsung, ViewSonic, KTC, AOC, and Quicon?
Sure.
Not familiar. Kuycon. Does anybody have any experience that would push me towards or away from any of these? Any thoughts or advice is appreciated.
I do have some experience because I've been in the same boat. I'm just a few years ahead of you, Larry. I still have the 2019 5K iMac, that same as you, that I had here in the studio right up until the day that lightning hit so close to the house that it literally burned out the backlight on the display, both sides. And now that sits and runs as like my OpenClaw test machine downstairs. So it has seen new life. However, I was in that same boat, and then also was always an iMac person in my office up until I got that M1 Mac Mini. And I same thing, right? Didn't want to go backwards. Loved the 5K screen. So in the office, that was the first one I did, and I wound up buying a refurb LG Ultrafine 5K. That is still available on Amazon, and it's way less expensive than what I paid for it. It's now $7.99 on Amazon. I think I paid like $10.49 or something. That might still be your best price for a 5K monitor, and I'll talk about why I think that's true. But that, if you want 5K, that's it. Now, I have here in my office, here in the studio, and in the office, what I'm about to say is true. I have a 5K monitor and a 4K monitor right next to it. That's true both in the studio and the office. So I have the LG 5K, which would be the one in front of me. I always like my second screen off to my right. It's just my thing. So the one that I have to my right in the office is a ViewSonic VP2768, which is a 4K screen. I use both all day long, somewhat interchangeably, and I don't really notice a huge difference between the two. I think that I prefer the 5K, but that could be confirmation bias. But that the 27-inch 4K screens, the good ones, are really good. And that ViewSonic, that monitor has been around for a while, and it's still $550, right? So like, it's not one of the $150 27-inch 4K screens that you can get. The contrast on it's fantastic. It's a great screen, and might do well enough for you. Here in the studio, initially, I used that screen as my secondary screen, or as my primary screen, rather, because I had to switch immediately. Like, I did not have time to think about this, so it was like, all right, great, what am I going to do? So I had that screen, that ViewSonic 2768 4K. I used that as my primary screen for a while, with a monoprice screen as a secondary, and Monoprice used to make great 27-inch 4K screens. I don't really see them as an option anymore. But if you find differently, let us know. Feedback at MacGeekGab.com, because we'd like to hear from you.
You heard him. Feedback at MacGeekGab.com.
That's right, Pete. Feedback at macgeekgab.com.
It's true. Eventually, I moved to another 4K screen here as my primary in the studio, and that is the Philips 4K UHD 27-inch screen. That most recently was $499, but it appears to have been completely discontinued and is unavailable. That's a great screen, and it is now my secondary screen in the studio. The ViewSonic 5K screen, which is their VP2788, that is my primary screen here, and I love that too. That's $929. It was supposed when it was announced, it was supposed to be $799, and then tariffs changed it. So $929 is the best they can do. So those are the screens that I use. The ones that we hear from all of you include the BenQ screens. I'm going to put links to all of these in the show notes, so you can get the show notes either by visiting MacGeekGab.com and seeing them there, or if you visit MacGeekGab.com and sign up for the mailing list, you'll get them automatically in your inbox when they come out. But all of these links are in there with prices, at least prices as of the moment that we're recording this episode. They will change, of course. But BenQ, BenQ, makes a lot of great 5K screens, and they tend to range from about $9-something to $1,100 or just shy of $1,100 US, depending on their purpose and some of their extra features. Some of them have like Thunderbolt hubs and docks and things like that in them, and some of them don't. The other brand that we hear about is a budget brand called KTC. Their 5K 27-inch screen is $549. That's the least expensive 5K screen I see. However, the BenQ that I listed is their $1,099 screen, so $1,100. That is 144 hertz refresh rate. The KTC is 60 hertz refresh rate. I would argue that refresh rate is going to make more of a difference than the extra pixels for you. So I would not, if $549 is your price, I would go with the ViewSonic VP2768 4K over the KTC 5K. But I say that looking at specs only on the KTC. I have not tried it. So, try it and return it, right? The KTC will go up to 120 hertz, but only in 2K mode. So just bear that in mind.
Dave, can you say why refresh rate is important?
Yeah, because all of your lights in your environment are going to have a refresh rate specific. I mean, even your incandescents, right? But your
60 hertz,
60 hertz or thereabouts. Yeah. I don't want to get down a tangent of how we're probably not running at 60 hertz as someone who sees power all the time. But anyway, yeah. But close enough, yeah. But like all the LED lights that we have all have their refresh rates, and they're somewhat mismatched and all that. But the speed, it is the speed at which the screen redraws itself. And the faster refresh rate limits that flicker. And there is flicker that is obviously perceptible. There is flicker that is sub-perceptible. At 60 hertz, you're probably at the sub-perceptible level, because 24 hertz is what movies run at, right? 24 frames per second. Right? I have that right? I shouldn't be doing public math, but I think I'm right on this. Okay, thanks, guys.
Correct, sir.
Great. And 60 is fine, but even with my still aging eyes, and I'm quite happy that they're still aging, that aging hasn't stopped, because that's bad. It's bad for your health when your aging stops.
Yes, it is.
I notice a difference between 60 and 120 for certain on my iPhones. Like, you see it everywhere. So I think if you're going to stare at this thing all day, you don't want to be just at 60 hertz if you can avoid it. Yeah. And you probably on your Mac, if you go into, I don't know if I can do this, I'm going to try it. Certainly with third-party utilities, you can, if your screens support it. But if I go to my screen here, I can change the refresh rates of things, and you can experiment with it. So, and you know what? I say all of this the VP2788 5K screen, it's a 60 hertz screen.
There you go.
So maybe 60 hertz ain't so bad, folks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's the other place I've noticed it is like on the backup camera of the car. If you put the car in reverse, you'll see someone has LED lights flickering, and that's, the camera's not in sync with the refresh rate on the lights, and that's when you pick it up. But so yeah, but that.
All right, so I just gave myself a big long speech and then proved myself wrong, at least for my own eyes. Sitting here in the studio, the two screens that I'm looking at are 60 hertz screens. So maybe that KTC is worth checking out. I might need to reach out to them and see. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So maybe that is worth. Maybe it is worth the buy and return. Buy and return if you don't like it. I should say.
Yeah.
Because for $549, that's an amazing price on a 5K screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you buy, Adam? You just bought screens.
That's what I was trying to figure out. The boxes are over there. Well, because I have one of the LG Ultrafine 27 inches, but there's like a gazillion different versions of it, and they're all called the same thing. So it's super.
If you go
confusing.
into system settings
4K.
displays, it should tell you the model number. Mine certainly do. Because I see the VP 2788 5K or PHL 27E2, right?
It just says LG Ultrafine.
Nice.
Where would you see this?
No, that's where you would see it. Yeah, that's as good as it gets.
And I even went into system settings. I think it's I was looking on LG's.
Oh, if you go to system information, maybe in graphics and displays.
Not in there either.
And is it a 5K screen or a 4K screen?
It's 4K. These are 4K screens.
Okay.
Although, actually, funny enough, system settings is reporting 5K UHD plus, but that is not true.
No, the reason it reports that is because that is what it is displaying as the effective resolution, because you're in pixel doubling mode, and it confuses itself. It doesn't confuse itself. It confuses us reading it, thinking, oh, this screen has, more pixels. No. So, yeah. Evidently, 60 hertz is okay for Dave's old eyes. So there you go. Not on my iPhones. Like, I definitely noticed it when I moved to the promotion.
Pretty sure this is, if I'm looking at it correctly, because I think it's an IPS display. I want to say it's the ultrafine 4K. These things look like they've gotten way cheaper since I've bought them. The two that I'm seeing on LG's site are like $299 and $379.
Oh, interesting. And this is the 4K LG screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, great.
Which is super cheap and great looking displays.
Yep.
And they are available. That might be right around. I think I paid around $400, so that's probably the model.
Huh?
Like it? 27-inch. Yeah, I think it's the UP850KW. I want to say is the one that I have.
Okay. Wait, say that one more time.
27 UP850K-W.
All right,
$379.99, and you can get it cheaper at I think they have it on sale at B&H Photo for less than that.
All right,
like $50 off that price.
I'll see if I can find it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are you finding it for on LG's site?
$379.99. There's also the 650 KW, which is $299.99. It's $150 off, but I don't know what the that one doesn't have USB-C, so I'm pretty sure I have the one with USB-C.
Amazon has that one for $334 right now, so I'll put the Amazon link in the show notes for people. Fun,
yeah, and they're great displays. But I was upgrading from a 1080p, 1080p display basically.
Sure,
so that was an upgrade for me. I'm totally with him. Going backwards from a 5K might be hard, but
It's not as hard as you think. Well, really, I mean, like I said, I've done it, and it's fine. Yeah. So,
And you save a lot of money.
and you save a lot of money. Yeah.
But boy, is Apple's new one sexy, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously. It is expensive and worth it, right? Yeah. I mean, it's $15.99 to start for the studio display. So.
Unless you want the if you want the display to be able to go up and down and not just tilt, it's another $400.
Yeah. But I mean, what's an extra $400 between friends? What is the refresh rate on Apple's? Let's see. Apple's is 60 hertz refresh rate. Okay, I've learned my lesson on this. Yep, for sure. Okay, there you go.
While you were chatting, I went into settings displays, and looked at the little ViewSonic that I've got to the side. I was able to optionally down to 50 hertz. But 60 hertz was the highest refresh rate that it offers. But yeah.
No, 60 hertz is fine. Forget everything I said earlier in the episode.
Just kidding.
No, I got to learn something.
Yeah, right.
This is great. I love this.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. That's one of my 5 things. Love it. I'm just glad I learned it before we published the episode, so that I could not make you all wait a week to hear the correction. So there you go.
Or you can go in and take it out and pretend it never happened.
Nah, I'm not going to do that. It's better this way.
Right on.
It's also much simpler for me, and I'm a lazy podcaster. So.
There you go.
Yepper. All right. Should we go to Joe here?
We should. Yeah. We should, we shall, and we are, is how it works. Anyway, so Joe writes in with a question. He writes, "Gentlemen and Pete." Joe, did legal make you write that? Just asking. Anyway, well, standing in baggage claim, looking for my luggage, using the Find My app, I set my phone down and this message appeared. And it says, "More light required. Uncover the camera or turn on the flashlight." He says, "I'm totally intrigued. Any idea why light is needed or why turning on the flashlight would be necessary to find an AirTag?" Joe, and I've kind of always wondered that myself. It's like, why does it need that? But
I wondered it too. Adam, off the top of your head, do you know why? Because I did not. I researched it and found out, which I'm happy to share. Okay. I just figured if one of us actually knew this off the top of our heads, that would be a better way to go about it. Find My's got that precision finding, and it uses your iPhone's camera via ARKit and its motion sensors with that U1 chip to track the direction and distance to things. So once it figures out how far away it is, it's then using every bit of data that it can get about your phone to tell how far you have moved, while also factoring in, what signal strength am I getting from this device? And of course, low light prevents the camera from being accurate, right? And so turning on the flashlight or being in a brighter area helps with that augmented reality founded guidance. So there you go. That's the reason. Yeah.
Seems like a lot of maths going on in there.
That's exactly. Well, I mean, I think ARKit is already doing the heavy, that math has already been written. So it's really smart of Apple to leverage that existing math to kind of do all the things. So yeah, it's fascinating. I've been learning a lot about that as we've been refactoring the Mac Geek Gab app from Objective-C over to Swift. Now, obviously, I'm letting Claude Code do the heavy lifting on this, but it is kind of interesting architecting it, especially with an app that hasn't been under active development a long time, obviously, but was for a long period of time. And features were added sort of one by one, and looking at it holistically. And this is where, AI is so much better than a human for looking at like this. It was like, well, I see we've got all these things. If we're going to bother to refactor anyway, we should write them. We should write one routine that does this one thing and then leverage it elsewhere. And it's like, oh man, this is so good. But that smart programming. So yeah, it's great.
Cool.
It's fun. Yeah.
And I realized the place I could find which monitor I actually bought was from where I bought it, Amazon. So I confirmed that is the model that I gave earlier.
Okay.
It's an exact model.
Great. So and you see that it's $334 now, is that right? Or $339.99 was what I saw.
$333. It said.
Or $333.99. Sorry, yeah. That's what I meant. Yep. Great. Sweet. Yep. So the link is correct in the show notes.
Excellent.
Yepper. All right,
more?
we have one more question, and then I want to tell you about our sponsors, and then Adam has a Don't Get Caught for us. So.
Absolutely. So, Uncle Jamie, what iPhone car mount do you travel with? What do you all do with your iPhones when using a rental car on travel? I have a phone mount problem solved for my own cars, but what about a rental? I have a big, heavy iPhone 17 Pro Max, if that matters. Do you have a preferred mount you travel with? Do rental cars all have CarPlay these days? Pretty sure that they all do not.
So most of them do have CarPlay. CarPlay's been in most cars for, 5+ years now. Maybe it might even be correct to say 10+ years, but certainly 5+ years. And it's rare that you're going to rent a car that's more than a year or two old. So most rental cars do have CarPlay, and obviously if they do, that's the way to use it. That was my first experience with CarPlay was in rental cars because I didn't own a car that had CarPlay, but every car I rented did. That said, for years, I have traveled with a small, lightweight grip mount thing that can like grip my iPhone and fit in the vents on the dash of a car. And that's what I used to travel with all the time. I couldn't find the exact one that I travel with, but I found one that sure looks a lot like it on Amazon for $9. And I still have this in my go bag. It is with me every time I travel because it's tiny and it, costs me very little space-wise and weight-wise to travel with it. And I always have it. So if I need it, I can certainly put it up. And I have used it. There was some point in the last year, I want to say, where I couldn't get CarPlay to work for some reason in a rental car. There was something wonky about it, and I wanted to leave the airport and get to where I was going. And so I just, I was just like, oh, I can solve this problem. Good to go. And then, that was off to the races. So, yeah, $9. It's, the one that I found is the Lamicall, which is not the brand that I have because I'm sure the brand that I have doesn't exist anymore. But get one that fits your phone and you're going to be good to go. So, yep. Is it?
No, real quick. The bigger issue that I've found, because I do think the few times that I've traveled more recently, all the cars do have CarPlay. It's almost always wired CarPlay.
Yes.
And the biggest problem I've had is not having the right cable because sometimes it's only a USB-A connector and I have a USB-C cable because I have C on my phone and I C on my charger and C on my laptop, and right? So I need to make sure I carry a USB-A connector to USB-C thing or an adapter like Pete's showing. But yeah, that's your bigger problem is can you actually plug into the car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love those adapters are fantastic. And I'll put a link to some adapters. You get 3 for $750. And I
get a dozen and lose them slowly.
I carry both. I carry A to C in one direction and C to A, in the other direction, just because you're absolutely right, and you need to carry a cable too. Right. That is the other important part of this because even if the car has wireless CarPlay, usually the way you pair with it is by plugging in first. Not always, but that's certainly that is a way to get paired with the car. So, might be the only way. I don't know. But anyway.
And that got me thinking is I probably should grab my CarLink adapter when I travel.
Oh, that would be...
It's tiny.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
You might not even need a mount because you could just leave your iPhone in the center dash or in your pocket even.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because then you're prepared, if you will.
Well,
Get it? It's with a hyphen, not, yeah. You know what I meant.
And be aware, some states don't even allow that. Like New Hampshire, it's considered a handheld device, even if it's mounted, unless it's permanently installed.
Really?
Yeah.
Has anybody been cited for this in New Hampshire?
I do not know, but I do
Can't
know
imagine it would hold up. Yeah.
It'd be tough to hold. I get it. But I found that out when Mac was taking driver's ed. My most recent driver in the house.
No kidding.
That the mount is considered a handheld device because it's not permanently installed. Like
the bands can't drink on stage law that the Liquor Commission was on the books. I believe that this is probably one of those misinterpretations of the law that has become systemic. Like the Liquor Commission thing was true, even though it was provably false. If you looked at the letter of the law, they've since changed the letter of the law to make it so that bands can actually have a beer on stage. Actually, you can have one per band member even, or two if you really want. But it was one of those things. This sounds like that because, Anyway,
to me, it's one of those things that is now as Jeff Gammett would be able to tell you, it helps you talk yourself further into further citations or not. When the officer arrives at your vehicle.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. All right. We have a Don't Get Caught from Adam coming up, and we have a Don't Get Caught from one of our sponsors coming up too. Because running a small business today sometimes feels a lot like managing a complex tech stack, right? Too many moving parts, never enough time. Well, our sponsor, Gusto, is online payroll and benefits software built for small businesses. It's all in one, it's remote friendly, and incredibly easy to use. So you can pay, hire, onboard, and support your team from anywhere. What gets me excited is how it automates the truly annoying stuff. Automatic payroll tax filing. Check. Simple direct deposits. Check. Plus options for health benefits, commuter benefits, workers' comp, 401k, all without those surprise gotchas. It's kind of like finally scripting that repetitive task that you've been doing by hand for years, right? We all know what this is like. You do it, and finally you're like, wait a minute, I can fix it one time, and then I don't get caught wasting cycles on it again. And I love to make sure I don't get caught. You cannot get caught too. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/MGG and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/MGG. One more time, gusto.com/MGG. And I think you're going to like it. Our thanks to Gusto for sponsoring this episode. All right, Adam. What do you got?
So I have something at work. I was the other day. I was setting some stuff up for Docker for some local development that I was doing, and as part of doing my work, I often have to go in and put in like developer domains and things like that, or just point my legit domains at a developer version or test version of a website, and I do that by editing my Etsy host file, which is like your local DNS lookup. And I was doing this for work, and I went in there, and I noticed some entries that I didn't put in there, and they were put in there by Adobe Creative Cloud. They had put their own entries into my Etsy host file to point basically to their servers for, making sure that I'm paid up and licensed and blah, blah, blah. And I would assume this is because if my DNS were down or I blocked my DNS or whatever, that they wouldn't be able to validate my licensing. But that Don't Get Caught is, in my opinion, third-party companies should not be injecting stuff into the local Etsy host file on my machine. I see it as a violation. Maybe
it's my job.
It's Pete's job. Yeah, maybe I'm being ridiculous here. I don't know, but Yeah, and then to make matters worse, so I saw this the other day. Well, and I saw it at work, and it's like, I wonder if my IT guy did that. And I reached out to them, and they're like, nope, that wasn't us. And so I have Creative Cloud at home, and I went home and looked at my personal Mac, and that's where I discovered, oh, yeah, this was also done on my personal Mac. And then when I did some Googling and looking around, it looked like this is a recent thing that they started doing around mid-April. At least that's when my Etsy host file was modified when I looked at it.
Yeah.
And the one at work was within the same couple of days as my one at home. And then, so to make matters worse, so this was about a week ago, or a couple weeks ago, I discovered this. I can't remember the exact day. But I went in and removed that entry from my Etsy host file. And then just right before the show, I went to double check. And sure enough, they put it right back. And not only that, I now noticed that OpenVPN also put their own entries into my Etsy host file. And so I don't know if this is like a new trend that these companies are doing, because I've never seen this before. So OpenVPN put in a couple entries. Adobe Creative Cloud has an entry that they added, and I guess removing them doesn't do anything. And, I looked at the permissions on my Etsy host file. It's still, root wheel. So all the normal stuff. So they're getting in, I guess because I've given them other permissions. But yeah, I'm not happy about it. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it to actually stop it other than maybe completely somehow changing the permissions on my files so that the system can't. I don't know what the elevated. I'd have to do some digging to figure out how to block it. But maybe, I don't know if I'm overreacting, but I don't like it. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I don't like this either. When you first told us about it, it was like, like you, I will edit mine for usually development reasons, or if I want to bypass like a cache that we've put in place and just talk directly to the server, so I know that I can troubleshoot more web stuff with a little more consistency and that kind of thing. But I don't like it messing with my things. That's not the best. I'm with you on this. Yeah.
So that's my story. When mine got edited, it was done by a third party, and I had no idea, no control. And
Adam, I know who the third party was. The third party is here with us.
Right. Yeah, I know.
hey,
boy.
I think
Yeah,
I've just been insulted. I'm not sure.
No. Certainly not.
I mean, check yours. I was frankly surprised. I thought I thought I'd see a bunch of tech sites reporting on this and stuff like that. So again, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe this is a normal practice and not a big deal. I don't know.
I went and looked at my Etsy host file, and I didn't see anyone I didn't see any entries in mine that were that.
Right.
So
do you have a Creative Cloud subscription though?
I don't. No, but
Okay.
but like to your point about maybe this is common practice, I don't have a Creative Cloud subscription, but I nobody else has edited my Etsy host file either. Yeah.
Well, the OpenVPN one is a new thing, and that's like a little telling because it's like, okay, Adobe did it. And now OpenVPN did it. Is like, again, are we on some new trend where these companies are like, well, if Adobe can do it and get away with it, then maybe we can too.
I can almost see where it would make sense for a VPN. I mean, a VPN is mucking with your network config anyway, but that can all be compartmentalized. Like there were, and the names of them are blanking on me, but when like Secure DNS first was launched, the way that it was launched for iPhone was you would install a VPN that would only do your DNS lookups, right? I think Quad 9 had an app. I can't remember who had apps, but some of those DNS providers had apps, and they ran as a VPN, but all they were doing was intercepting your DNS lookups, making those happen securely. And then when you browsed, you weren't going through their tunnel, right? You were just browsing like you would normally. So, VPN wouldn't necessarily have to do things this way either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. Don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Or do. Like, seems like they're just going to keep putting it back in there, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do to stop it.
I don't think, unless you can, and I don't know the way off the top of my head, but I know there is a way to harden files so that, like, the only way you could change it would be to unset whatever that flag is. There's like extended attributes, I think.
Yeah.
Or I've already colored outside my own lines with the whole refresh rate thing, so I'm not going to do it again here with my my foggy memories of how to do this from the terminal. But ask your favorite chatbot about this, because and then test it on a text file that you create in your home folder so that you're not locking yourself. Make sure you can get in and out of this before you do it to your Etsy host file. But there is a way to do this, and hopefully Adobe doesn't go around that too. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Fun. All right. We had a conversation 2 episodes ago, so 1134, about iPhone cases and what cases we asked all of you what cases you use, and boy howdy did we get a lot of responses. So I think if we buckle down, we can get through these in a timely fashion. So shall we start?
Yeah, Chris has one for us. He says, I'm with Dave, and I always have a case on my phone, and I encourage all of my tech consulting clients to do the same. Personally, I don't like smooth or slippery cases. I like something that has a chance of sitting in place for 5 minutes. Slippery cases behave like eels and slide off of surfaces sometimes. For at least the last decade, my case of choice has been the Incipio Duo, which has a very slight texture to it. I think it's a rich feeling. I should point out that the clear version of the case looks to be slippery. The black one that I'm speaking of, it's the black one that I'm speaking of that doesn't slide around.
Cool.
So, the Incipio Duo. At the risk of having this run too long, what is the Duo part?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not clear what is duoed about this from looking at their Amazon listing. It's $30 on Amazon. So I will share that, and yeah, we can move on. Yeah. Good stuff. Cool. Pete?
All right. NASANut writes in with another one. He says, during show 1134, you were discussing iPhone cases and screen protectors. Just wanted to put my vote in for the Spigen brand. It's not just Spigen. I said it earlier. The Spigen brand. Spigen at Spigen.com. I've used this brand on a couple of generations of phones. I've even put the screen protectors on all 5 phones in our family. With regard to the screen protector, they are tempered glass and they come in a set of 2 for about $20 on Amazon. Several installation aids are included, starting with a cleaning cloth to clean the phone's screen before installation. Then there's a set of peel-off stickers that you dab on the iPhone screen prior to remove any remaining lint. Then the protectors themselves come mounted in an installation frame that fits your specific iPhone. This provides perfect alignment for the screen protector. Once in place, you peel the sticker off, which allows you to remove the alignment frame and leave the protector in place. Then lastly, there's the small plastic squeegee that you can use to force out any remaining air bubbles. These have been the easiest to install protectors that I've ever used. As far as the cases, I use the Tough Armor, which has a flip-out stand so you can prop the phone up on a table in front of you. However, they have other styles. I hope I haven't rambled on for too long. Keep up the great work. NASANut. So
Cool. I will change the link in the show notes to have the little flip out stand. So and I'm normalizing the prices that I'm mentioning here in the show to the iPhone 17 Pro version of all of these cases, just so that we have it. And these are $24.99 is what I am finding for
today.
For today. Yeah.
Today
exactly.
only.
Today and today only. Yeah, exactly.
Sunday.
All right. That was that one. Cliff has a comment about clear cases. And he says, per your query in the last podcast, I too purchase a cheap clear case each year for my new iPhone. My current $5 MagSafe case that I bought in September is working just fine with my Orange 17 Pro. Of note, the newer generation clear cases seem to be doing better about not yellowing with age quite as quickly. And I will also attest to this. The clear case that I currently have on my 17 Pro, I took it off and kind of looked at it, and it's it looks yellowed because it's got an orange phone inside it, but the case itself has remained clear, which I love. So because that was an issue with clear cases for a little while. There were a couple of years where Spec was the only company that had a formulation that would not yellow with age, and now it seems like that knowledge has migrated around. So thank you for that, Cliff. All right. Leather cases were a topic of discussion, and I guess we've got Dan's, and then we'll get to the leather cases. So go ahead with Dan's, Adam.
Yeah, Dan has a bumper open case from, I'm going to mutilate this, I'm sure, Wuwedo, W-U-W-E-D-O, Wuwedo. He said, I also tried the open case and found it good, but I didn't love the faux leather. That was actually one of my favorite parts, but to each his own. Plus, I like to see phones as I can with a clear case like Dave. I like the clear TPU edges on a case. I can see the case and it makes it a little easier to pick up. I found this case that also does not have a back. Years ago, I used Apple's bumpers, which had a weird texture and not enough rigidity, so they would flex on the sides. This one extends with hard plastic about quarter inch over the back, which gives the sides enough rigidity. It has a protective ring around the camera area and the rest is open. It actually makes it even easier to hold the phone because your fingers rest inside the rim. The phone feels thinner without the back panel and lighter. Plus, it's just $13. Dan.
So I found this on Amazon. There might be other places to find it. And the one thing that they didn't have was an option for the 17 Pro. They have the 17 and the 17 Pro Max, but no 17 Pro out there as of this moment in time. So if you want it for the 17 Pro, it might not exist, or you're going to have to hunt, or I don't know the answer. So just wanted to share that. But yeah, that looks great. I love the idea of a clear bumper case, essentially. So I might need to look into that. I like it. Good stuff.
The price is right.
No kidding.
$13.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of, I mean, this was kind of where that conversation wound up a couple of weeks ago. It was like, where are we going with these here? And do we need an expensive case? And maybe Thad has a reason for us to need an expensive case. He says, in the episode, Adam mentioned that he liked Apple's leather cases and wished they still made them. I, too, love the Apple leather cases and have found that the Bullstrap cases are a decent replacement. The leather feels the same as Apple's, and they have the metal buttons that Apple used as well. They also come with unlimited warranty replacements for wear and tear. So, yeah, Bullstrap. Now, this is $99 for the 17 Pro case, but it's leather. So, you're going to pay for it. There are actually they range from $50 or $99. There is a couple of $50 options, and what I'm assuming are the colors that they are looking to sell. So
clear out.
The clearance colors. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, cool. Thanks, Thad. Good stuff. Cool. Who's next?
Nice.
Yep.
Well, Todd wrote in. He says, I like Adam. I like Adam, too. Oh, no. I like Adam. I, like Adam, really liked the Apple leather case. Cost too much, but given how many times my iPhone is in my hand each and every day, worth it to me. I started using the Nomad's leather iPhone cases after Apple stopped making them. I find them very comparable to Apple's. I often place my iPhone screen down when not in use for several reasons. Protect it from something falling on it, the screen goes dark, saving battery, notifications tend to hit my Apple Watch when the iPhone is screen down, etc. The edge on the leather case keeps the glass from touching the surface when screen down, and this seems to keep my screen from getting scratched up. I never use a glass screen cover over and use the leather case because it feels good in my hand and gives a little grip as well. The few dings in the leather that I pick up would be small dents in the iPhone case. Cheers, Todd. And I will briefly mention that I, too, have not been using the screen protector for quite some time and managed to get tripped by somebody whilst leaving the Houston rodeo, skinning not only my knee and my elbow and my ego, but my iPhone screen. So, yeah, maybe the screen protector, you never need it until you do.
Until you did.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's right.
Right?
$65 for the Nomad case on Amazon. Though I've had Nomad cases before.
Yep.
And really like them. So, yeah. All right. Moving on, Adam. Right?
Yeah, we got Tony, and he says he likes the Fierre Shann leather iPhone case. He says, "Hi, guys. This has been my go-to case for many model years, and over that time, it has consistently saved me from numerous disasters. It's magnetic closure reliably secures the case before hitting the ground. It can be found on Amazon as well." So Fierre Shann, F-I-E-R-R-E. Fierre Shann, is that right? Am I saying that right?
I guess, yeah.
It is now.
They look nice. Yeah,
Fierre Shann.
I only found them on eBay, not Amazon, and they're like they start at like $27. So which is pretty inexpensive for an iPhone case, a leather iPhone case. So
yeah, it's got a little cover that kind of flaps closed.
It's the flap closed cover kind of case. Yeah, that's interesting.
So fully encases your.
Yep. I like it. That's pretty good.
Now, my next question, because I noticed all of these are 17s. Like I would go for the Nomad one probably because like you, Dave. I've had great experience with Nomad, but I didn't see if they had versions for. I'm still on a 16.
Most of them do. I just went. I wanted to normalize pricing for our episode here, so I went and just put everything as a 17 Pro or a 17 in that case where I couldn't find a 17 Pro. But on the Bullstrap, I think it was, or the Wuwedo, the bumper case.
Right.
But yes, most of them had options for everybody. And this company does too. I have one, as we were talking about leather cases that we've had good experience with, Mujjo, M-U-J-J-O.
Yep. I
have always loved their leather cases. They just feel like apples. And they're available, again, 17 Pro on Amazon is $59, but they do have options for other size phones, of course. But yeah, I've always really, when I go to a leather case, it often is the Mujjo. And then there you go. So
cool.
I think that gets us there, guys. I think we're probably finished with our not just with our cool stuff found, but with our episode in general.
We're here. We got
time.
here.
Yeah, we made it. I know.
You know what, though? Next week, we're not going to be there again. We're going to have to start all over.
What? Oh, we got to do it again next week?
That's
so
say.
Interesting. Huh.
I think
right.
It's state law.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those misinterpreted laws, Pete. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Fun time. Thanks for sending in all your stuff. I love learning about all these things, and I just love learning, and I know we all do, and that's why we come together every week to do this. So thanks for being a part of it with us. Thanks to all of our premium subscribers. MacGeekGab.com/premium is where you can go to learn more about that. It is optional, of course, and very much appreciated. All of you who are members of our premium program are a huge part of what it takes for us to be able to do this show. And our sponsors are another huge part of it. And so, visiting our sponsors helps immensely as well. So and really it starts with what you're doing right now, which is listening to the show, engaging with the show. So thank you for all of that. We got to figure out a way to I like incorporating and thanking our premium listeners in the show, but I also don't want to make it become like a 7-minute segment every week because I'm I don't know. So we got to figure out a way to do it. We're open to ideas. Feedback at macgeekgab.com. Let's see. macgeekgab.com/giveaway. Make sure you go sign up and register to win one of our 3 Plex passes. Our thanks to Cashfly for providing all the bandwidth to get the show from us to you. Our other podcasts are So There I Was, the debut film podcast, Business Brain, and Geek Gab. Go check out the Mac Geek Gab iOS app. It is now about 70% Swift, I think the version that's released to the App Store. And more coming. But it all still works. It's just, and new features being added all the time. Join the Discord if you want to be part of the discussion or even part of the beta group. We can get you in there. So, all right, that's what I got.
There's a new banner up, Dave.
Oh, it says be not where they are looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't get caught.
Yes, that's what it means. There's a more efficient way. I knew it.
Made on back.
Fun stuff. Later, folks.